Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to make the most money at your job. So trying to make the most money where you're at in your career, whatever your career happens to be, it's gonna come down to you being willing to take on the most amount of responsibility or the most amount of skill set when it comes to solving a problem, right? The cashier at McDonald's, at your local supermarket has a very small problem that they're solving, right? Guests are coming in and they just need to get checked out to go home, right? That's a very small problem. So they get paid basically the least amount of money in all of society, right? So if you were smart, right? Let's say you were in retail, right? If you wanted to make the most money in retail, you would rise up the ranks, continue to take on more responsibility, right? And obviously that's going to come with a lot of what? Stress, hard work, late nights, late days, right? Staying behind when you are supposed to go home because your staff didn't show up, right? So there's a lot of things that come down to it, but the main point is that it's going to require you to get uncomfortable, right? Because if you're just checking people out at the cashier, as a cashier, right? That's an easy job, right? You're basically like an automaton robot, right? You're not really thinking, you're not really having to use any of your abilities as a human being, right? And so by proportion, you get paid the least amount. So that's just one example. If you go into the trades, right? You get paid a lot because first off, not a lot of people want to go into the trades, right? And second off, the trades are tough, right? Sometimes you don't have the answer always to a problem you're trying to solve, whether it's an AC, whether it's a mechanic, whether it's a plumber. Sometimes you got to try different things because one thing might not work, or something happens where the part you ordered doesn't work properly with the piece of equipment, right? So there's a lot of things that go into that. And, I would argue that the trades are one of the toughest professions because it's not like you have a set schedule, right? Like you basically don't get to leave until the problem is solved, right? Whether that's a part on order or you just figure out what the actual issue is and what piece fits what, so you can make the machine or thing operatable again, right? So, those are just two examples, but I just really, all in all, right? You have to aim to take on more in life if you want to get paid more, right? Whether that's more responsibility, whether that's learning things that no one wants to learn, whether that's doing things that no one else wants to do, right? A lot of the top paid people also do things that are boring, right? They do things that are stressful. They do things that require them to not always be in a pleasant mood, right? So, if you want to be happy all the time and you want to enjoy life, go ahead. But in the working world, in the job professions and careers world, right, that's not a reality. You get paid to basically eat shit most of the time, right? And that's not to say it's going to be like that forever, right? As you continue to elevate, as you continue to step up your game in whatever career or profession you're in, you can obviously scale that into a business if you'd like. You can invest your money so that life becomes easier as you get older. But in the beginning, right, if you're starting out, it's going to be tough, right? Because it's like you have no experience, you have no skills, you have no degrees, certifications, anything that is going to basically get you a higher paid career. So again, it sucks, but this is the reality of life, right? Life isn't sunshine and rainbows, right? You're not going to get paid to sit on your ass and do shit that you think is going to make you a lot of money and then have it not make you a lot of money, right? Because, we have this weird idea, especially my generation, the generation before me and after me, right? That we're supposed to do what we love and the money will follow, right? That's kind of like what you've been told. Your teachers told you that, right? Do something that you can at least tolerate. And you know what? That advice, I'm going to be honest with you, that's a bunch of bullshit, right? I personally enjoy making YouTube videos, right? I love sharing my ideas, my thoughts, etc., right? I don't expect to get paid millions of dollars tomorrow, right? This might take 10 years for me to start getting paid a decent amount of money, right? But the point is that even if you love what you do, it's not always going to be fun, right? Like even scaling this, right? Possibly scaling this and getting better at this. There's going to be shit that I guarantee you I'm not going to want to do. Guaranteed, right? And I'm probably going to have to hire somebody to do it. So love what you do and the money will follow. There's some truth to that, right? Like if you have, you know what I like better? Have something that you're interested in and that the money will follow. But love what you do sounds too much like you have to be happy all the time, right? I get that sense that when people say love what you do, it's like do things that are making you happy all the time. And it's like, it isn't always the case. So especially in the working world, like oftentimes that's not the case at all. Oftentimes you're doing jobs you have no like care for, you have no interest in, but you're doing it because what? You have to pay the bills, right? So in a way, right, I think a better sort of mantra or theme we should be introducing to students and kids, right, is do something that's going to pay you a lot of money, right? Even if it sucks for a little bit of time, right? Because even if it sucks, right, if you make a good amount of money, you can leverage your money to invest into assets, right, that pay you back. So you can possibly downscale or do something that you love to do, right? So in the beginning, we have to eat shit. We have to do things we don't like. We have to work hours we don't want to work, right? So that we can live the life we want to live. But most people think that I start out my career loving what I do, making a lot of money, and I retire. No, oftentimes it starts out the opposite. You suck at what you do. You hate what you do. You get kind of good at it. You make a lot of money, and then you start figuring out what you like to do. You make a lot of money, and then life starts to get better. But that's 10, 15, 20, that takes sometimes 10, 15, 20 years to go through in a process, right? So I just want to make this video to give you guys some encouragement, to give you guys some insight as to, you know, what it might take for you to make a lot of money, what it's going to take for you to invest into the things you want to invest in and live the life you want, right? It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's not going to be always beautiful. It's going to suck. It's going to be nasty, dirty, shitty. It's going to be boring, laborious, monotonous, right? But that's exactly, all of those things, that's exactly what equals higher pay most of the time, right? Stress, dealing with things you don't want to deal with. That's what equals higher pay in the job market. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.